a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
I kept walking. I tried not to look down at the yawning void under my feet, but the sheer size of the chasm made me dizzy. I felt like one of those gyroscope toys, spinning and wobbling as I crossed the narrow plank. As I got closer to the opposite side, the doorway between the two statues began to glow, like a curtain of red light. I took a deep breath. Maybe the red light was a portal? Like the Gate of Sand. If I charged through fast enough, then the first dagger shot out of the tunnel. My sword was in motion before I realized it. The dagger should have impaled me in the chest, but somehow I deflected it with my blade and sent it sailing into the abyss. 2 more daggers shot out the tunnel. I'd never had the best reflexes, but now they sped up. I ducked one dagger and hooked the other with the curved blade of my sword, turned the dagger, and flung it back into the tunnel. How the heck did I do that? I advanced to the end of the plank and slashed through the red light, which flickered and died. I waited for the statues to come alive, but nothing happened. The only sound was a dagger clattering against the rocks in the chasm far below. The doorway began to glow again. The red light coalesced into a strange form, a 5-foot-tall bird with a man's head. I raised my sword, but Zia yelled, "Carter, no!" The bird creature folded his wings. His eyes, lined with kohl, narrowed as they studied me. A black ornamental wig glistened on his head, and his face was etched with wrinkles. One of those fake braided pharaoh beards was stuck on his chin, like a backward ponytail. He didn't look hostile, except for the red flickering light all around him, and the fact that from the neck down, he was the world's largest killer turkey. Then a chilling thought occurred to me. This is a bird with a human head. The same form I'd imagined taking when I slept in Amos's house. My soul left my body and flew to Phoenix. I had no idea what that meant, but it scared me. The bird creature scratched at the stone floor. Then unexpectedly, he smiled. Welcome to Of the Oldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I'm Raye, following the path of Geb.
And I'm Charlie, following the path of Bast. I almost wonder if I should have changed that intro, honestly. Rick could have been our godly patron or something. Like, following the path of Rick Riordan. I've had this like in my brain. I'm just like, I could have tried to make that slightly
like
more
fit.
fit.
I didn't even think about it.
But I was just like, I don't know how to do that. I'm just focusing on everything else.
It's fine.
It's fine. We've committed to this bit.
So what up?
You know, the killer turkey, apparently. There's a killer turkey on the loose. He's coming for you.
They're super not. Carter.
He's coming after your children.
I'm judging this chapter title incredibly inaccurate.
I love this chapter title. Like, it's because of how inaccurate it is. Like, it makes this chapter more memorable.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though not much happens, I'm just like, oh yeah, it's the one with the ba. That's right. It's that one.
According to my pre-established pedantic rules, this chapter title sucks.
I face the nice and kind turkey who calls me a king for some reason.
He's not even a turkey. Come on
Chicken?
Now. I mean, I actually don't know what kind of bird they're supposed to be. I don't believe Carter, though.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a particular bird, but we'll get into that eventually. I think it's funny, though. We should have made some Thanksgiving jokes or something. Like, I don't know.
I mean, that's the next holiday after this one. It'll probably be Thanksgiving season by the time this comes out. So, like, yeah, we're totally on brand. Don't even worry about it, guys.
Is it? No, this comes out actually wrong. This episode comes out on Halloween, so
oh my
incorrect.
God. Okay, it's like a ghost turkey, though, so really, we're
It is a
bridging the gap.
ghost. Okay, so instead if he had said, I face the ghost turkey.
Yeah.
The ghost of Turkey Man.
Goddamn. Cannot believe this. On Halloween.
I mean, it is a ghost. You got that right. It's a deceased person.
You want to hear about some shit?
I would love to hear about some shit. Tell me about this killer turkey.
Okay, well, I won't, because there isn't one, but so what happens is, Zia's portal drops the kids off in the Cairo airport, which is pretty typical for Carter's life, TBH. She explains that the good shit is in the ruins under the airport. I love speaking out loud. And by good shit, I mean the House of Life, it's down there. They have to cross a magic chasm/gateway to get there, and Carter has been feeling sick of everyone treating him like a pushover, which they do because normally he is. But anyways, he decides to just go for it, which surprisingly works out for him. He uses his sword and stuff. Pretty cool. The spirit of an ancient magician greets him and calls him Good King. And also he's like a big bird body, whatever. It's all fine and normal.
Oh my god, the ghost of Big Bird. Anyway.
Good. Okay, yeah. Tie that shit in. They enter into a bustling underground market, and Zia offers up some exposition, don't worry about it. She then brings them to the Hall of Ages, where they're apparently going to meet the Chief Lector. The end. Next time. Next time on The Kane Chronicles. Chief Lector, whoever that is.
Oh god, the Big Bird thing just reminded me of something. So, have you ever done a PowerPoint party?
I have, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
times.
okay. I once did a PowerPoint party with some of Abby's friends, and one of them brought one in about whether or not what is Big Bird? What is the mystery of Big Bird?
Delightful.
Like, is he a man in a costume? Is he just a giant bird? Is he filled with multiple children? Like, is he a robot? What's the situation here? What is that? Abby then presented this at like a PowerPoint that DXM people did. I don't remember how many months ago that was.
It was
recent-ish. That was recent-ish.
I wasn't there, so but I remember that happening.
I went to it and I thought about doing my Ace Attorney one that's like very short, but yeah, Big Bird, what is he? What is Big Bird? Apparently he is a killer turkey.
The best PowerPoint at a PowerPoint party that I've ever seen was when my little sister did one on the worst Weezer song. She just presented on why this one song in particular sucks so bad.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know what my first PowerPoint was, right? My first PowerPoint party PowerPoint, it was the BCU.
Oh,
the
of course,
cinematic universe. Which I have since added to.
Yes, this is a topic we're very passionate about.
Maybe for no reason at all, maybe I'll share it with the listeners of Oteg someday. Who's to say?
I would love that. Maybe that's a future bonus episode, broski. Just a little presentation.
Just like, hey, let's just talk about Barbie. Just because we like Barbie. This is not a Barbie podcast. We just want to talk about Barbie.
Yeah.
No explanation. All right. We have some things to talk about today. We have some myth stuff going on, and not quite myth stuff. Let's get into it. So in case you missed it, we're going to talk about the ancient Egyptian conception of the soul. But mostly we're focusing on the ba part, because there's like a million different parts of their soul. They have like 8, at least. I think. It's a lot, but I
see 8 listed here on your wiki page that you sent me.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
They have a lot of different parts of their soul. For some reason. I have like questions about this.
The Freudian id, ego, and superego, except if there were like a bunch more of them.
Yeah, but there's more, actually. Plot twist. There's like way more than that. Okay, does it... I'm just gonna look at, like, the top here to see why is there so many. Okay, the god Atum created the world out of chaos using his magic, yada yada yada. And so every living thing had magic because the world was created with magic. Love that.
That makes sense.
Beautiful.
That's fine. Yeah.
And humans were created. That means their souls are magic. Amazing.
Okay. The
Beautiful.
magic took the form of the soul. So the soul is the magic part of you. Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it says there's at
Okay.
least
Last time we
5
were
parts
talking about
to
this,
it,
yeah,
yes.
you said 5 parts. So you weren't just making that up. It's 5 or more parts of soul.
Okay, cool. I was like, why did my brain come up with like 5 parts specifically before when this page has like 8 for some reason? But maybe like some of them are just like were added, I guess, or something. Anyway, there's like your physical body, spiritual body, name, vital essence, heart, shadow, power, intellect. But your ba specifically is your personality.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. And yes, it takes the form of a bird with a human head. Doesn't specify what type of bird, as far as I can tell here.
Is there any
There's
art
just-
of such a thing?
Yeah, there's art on this page here, at least on the Wikipedia.
Oh, okay, okay. I
It just looks like a
found
bird.
some. Bird.
Oh.
Bird with human head.
Bird with human.
Less awkward than I was imagining, but still pretty awkward.
Yeah.
They don't look chickenish to me in the slightest.
Well, you know, Sadie's the one who was like, "Oh, it's a Carter-headed chicken," and I guess Carter is now just like, turkey, maybe?
We're just gonna go with
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah.
This is just the answers. We could have said like a pigeon or something. You
well,
know?
what are I'm looking up Egyptian birds now, so
Well, they loved falcons apparently. I know that much.
I
There's
mean,
also
who
the
doesn't?
ibis. I know of those ones, and that's most of it.
Falcon seems about right to me. Okay. I googled my actual question, which is what bird is that? Ancient Egyptian McClung Museum of Natural History and Culture says it's probably a small falcon or a sparrowhawk. Anyways.
I did a weird thing here, and I clicked on the word for ba, which is like be whatever the heck that symbol is on this page.
Right, since no vowels.
And it took me to like the Wiktionary, and I was like, "Ooh, what does this have on it?" And so it's like working power, active power, God seen as possessed of power, like, and then it's like the dead needs off to sustain it. Yeah, there's just I don't know.
There's so much etymology here. My god.
Apparently. And it also says that, at least on this Wiktionary, says that it was applied to the kings originally, and near the end of the old, at least in the Old Kingdom, and then near the end of that, they used it for non-royal people as well.
Okay. But is it still just important people, or is it everybody?
Unclear!
Okay.
Just said non-royal. Okay. So, the ba, the personality, it's what makes you unique! Haha!
Mm-hmm.
And apparently that means that inanimate objects could also have some form of ba, maybe?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the way that my brain is doing this is like the ba is the essence of you. These other soul pieces are like things that like you can have more or less of. They're like characteristics. They're like you know, you can have more power or spirit or whatever, but like the ba is like that's like your personal stamp, like your imprint. The vibe.
My brain just had like some interesting thoughts on how to make.
You thinking about RPGs?
No. I am thinking about RPGs. How did you know?
Your soul stats.
Literally, my brain was just like, "Oh yeah, so like what are your ba stats? What's your like Ren stats? Your Ka, your Ib, whatever the fuck these things are."
So funny, actually. I would love that.
Let's make an ancient Egyptian RPG and play as,
We would have to do so much research for me to feel comfortable, but also, it sounds so fun.
Because, like, I feel like all these things do add up to, like, the stats.
Yeah.
Like, there's your body. That could be, like, your strength or something. And, like, your spiritual body, like, if you're spiritual or something. I don't know how to work in your name and identity, I'm not gonna lie.
We'll
Personality
figure
could
it
be
out.
some charisma stats.
Oh, yeah.
That's what my brain immediately went to, is, like, personality's gotta be the charisma stat.
Mhm.
Intellect is already here, so, like, we have our intelligence. Which one is the wisdom stat? Maybe hearts?
Okay,
I
they
don't
don't
know.
have to line up perfectly. Okay,
No,
what
they
I'm
don't.
imagining for
But
name/identity is, like, your social status. Like, you have a stat for, like,
ooh!
yeah, like, how well regarded you are.
Okay, I see that.
Yeah, yeah. This could be so fun. Okay, we'll come back to this
We'll
eventually.
come back to this after we record, okay? Okay, but this is also interesting, is that at least in the Old Kingdom, the pyramids were sometimes called the ba of their owner. So that's like, that could be your personality, but it's in a physical form, separate from
Mm.
you, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know. And then it's sometimes depicted as like the human head bird.
Mhm.
Flies out of the tomb to join the Ka in the afterlife, which is your vital essence.
Cool.
Okay. So
Also interesting that it shows us the hieroglyphics here, which are just the picture of the human-headed bird, which is fun.
yeah, it's just a bird and like something else next to it. I'm not sure what that is.
Symbol. Don't worry about it. It's fine.
It's another symbol. But apparently, is what is this sentence saying? My brain is like dying.
Where are we
One
looking?
one form of the ba that comes into existence after death is corporeal. Eating, drinking, and copulating.
What?
That- yeah. I'm tr- Are we saying that when you are dead, the ba takes care of those things? Is that what we're saying? Yes? Um, hmm.
Okay. Okay. No, it's saying, It's not necessarily like an intangible ghost, I think is what it's saying. One form
Ah,
is corporeal. So it could,
okay. It could do those
or
things.
maybe I think that's a really confusing sentence.
Thank you. I'm glad I'm not alone here. Okay, so it's not
I
part of the
also, you said
person.
eating, drinking, and copulating. I thought you said eating, jerking, and copulating. Like, it's just out there jerking it.
The bird dick. Oh my god. Okay, so one Egyptologist says that the ba is not just part of the person, but it is the person himself, unlike the
Mhm.
soul in Greek or in a bunch of other different religions.
Hmm.
It's not necessarily. I'm trying to understand what the heck this means. So yeah. Okay, so I guess yeah is so yeah the you can be corporeal in death because the Egyptians are. It's just so foreign to them, the idea that like you wouldn't be able to physically touch anything when you're dead.
Mhm.
Like it's not immaterial. Is the
Right.
afterlife?
And that makes sense that, like, it's not that there are, like, ghosts floating around that can't touch anything. It's that you literally just go somewhere else and you're just as tangible there as you were in this life. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, it's just the way they worded it was very weird, but thank you. Um, they do. It's also, of course, depicted in the Book of the Dead. Of course, the Ba returns to the mummy, participates in life outside the tomb in non-corporeal form.
Oh, that's interesting. So they can, like, hang out and be ghosts.
I guess supposedly, yeah. This is okay. So Ra uniting with Osiris each night. Yeah. Well, that does technically happen because they do meet in the underworld. Yeah. Okay. And then the word itself, like, there's a plural for it, which is BAW instead of just BA.
Bow.
Cool. Bow. And it could mean something like impressiveness, power, reputation. Very
Hmm.
cool. Particularly of a deity. A deity intervening in human affairs. Oh, they're okay. So it's the ba of the deity that interacts with humans rather than just the deity themselves.
That makes some sense too.
Okay. It's very weird. It's very weird. I'm not
I
gonna lie.
vibe with it.
I'm very interested in all of this. It's very weird. It's very cool. I'm gonna make an RPG later. And next, we're gonna talk about something that apparently has some Egyptian roots that I didn't know about until I reread this chapter recently.
For real?
The Sorcerer's Apprentice? Eh?
Fascinating.
It's not just, a cute little cartoon with Mickey Mouse, if you didn't know. It's a poem by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, I want to say. Is how you pronounce that?
I feel like I've heard that pronounced in so many ways. I'm like,
German.
Goethe? Goeth? I don't actually know.
Oh, okay, let's see. His Wikipedia has several different pronunciations.
Okay, well, let's not worry about it too much then. Anyways, sorry, continue. The Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's a poem. You know the story, like, sorcerer leaves, the apprentice is like, well, I'm gonna fuck around and find out. Clean this place up with magic. With a broom, it fucks around, and he certainly finds that it does not stop. It certainly fucks shit up, and it can't even be destroyed with an axe. So,
as you do.
And then the sorcerer comes home and is like, dude, stop. Please stop.
Okay, well, do we have...
We have a classical context section here. Don't you worry, I looked into this.
Okay, good.
There is okay, so Lover of Lies is a short frame story by Luciano Samosata from the year 150.
My god.
Yeah. But this has a fucking Egyptian magician in it, okay? So the sorcerer is a priest of Isis.
Okay.
Who I would say that classifies you as an Egyptian magician. It's not necessarily an apprentice, but just someone who eavesdrops on this magician casting a spell. Egyptian's name is Pancrates, and the not apprentice is Eucrates.
So it's interesting because it's like we go from Disney to some German guy back to some Greek guy telling a story about an Egyptian guy.
Yeah, it's like the narrator, Tychiades.
Sounds right to me.
The narrator, Tychiades, is visiting his friends. They have an argument about whether magic is real, and his friend happens to be Eucrates, the guy who saw this magician do some weird shit.
Okay,
that's pretty cool. Yeah,
I kind of love it. It's fun. It's a fun little Easter egg for Rick to put in there. Also, he's allowed to since he's owned by fucking Disney,
right? I also just I'm a big fairy tale person as well. I love learning about the origins of different fairy tales and things. They're very, very cool.
I can't wait for our next Mechanisms album. We're gonna do the fairy tale one.
Oh, okay. We're gonna do the fairy tale one?
That's what I'm thinking about it, yeah.
My favorite thing to do is when I rewrite modern fairy tales, I put the ancient stuff back into it.
Oh yeah, the stuff that got dropped.
And I'm like, oh, well, here's a connection, here's something here, I'm gonna fuck up some shit.
I saw a Tumblr post recently, I'll have to send it to you if I see it, but it was fairy tale women in a D&D party, and it kind of slapped, so...
Oh?
Literally exactly up your alley.
Okay, you know what I was also thinking about the other day? Sorry to get sidetracked once again, but I was thinking about, what would be really cool is if there was a D&D campaign that was just the Argonauts or something. You could just choose whichever Greek hero you wanted, because most of them are an option.
Mm-hmm.
And just be we have a quest, but also we can do a bunch of other weird shit as we get lost getting there. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I just like it. So, let's talk about this chapter. I face the killer turkey. Is this, I want to know, could it be a reference or something he's making here?
I really don't think so, but now you're making me question.
I don't know, the way, the phrasing of, I face the something something sounds like a phrase. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I feel like that's just because that's frequently how these chapter titles are, laid out. It feels like a chapter title from one of these books.
It could just be a Rick thing. So it is Carter's turn. Once
Yay,
again.
we're back.
It's your boy. It's your favorite.
It's
your
my
son.
boy.
He has opinions on Sadie's take on his puppy dog face. It's like, I was not starry-eyed. I don't know what you're talking about. She just threw fireballs and that was weird.
I mean, I would also be a little starstruck by a girl if she could kill a god. It's not his fault.
That's pretty hot. Seeing a girl who could kill God. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. You see, okay. It wasn't time to get into it, but we're gonna get into it now. Sadie has been roasting my man, and I've been like, girl, I have seen nothing. Give him some space. Okay, you know what we do get this chapter? We do get Carter talking about how pretty Zia's eyes are, and also he knows how she smells. You know what we don't get? Carter being weird or overly distracted because there's a pretty girl around. My boy is incredibly normal about having a crush on a girl. He does not deserve this, is all I'm saying.
Yes, but Sadie is his sister, so
no,
she's
that's
allowed.
So true. That's so
she's
true.
Allowed.
That is her job. That is her job. Yeah. I just had to let you all know he's being incredibly normal about it. And I appreciate that personally.
Alright, so we have gone through the sand tunnel. We are now covered in sand. And we're in the middle of an airport. The Cairo airport.
He recognizes it. Of course he does, I
mean, he's probably been to this one the most, I would think.
His dad's literally an Egyptologist, so...
So... he has reason to be here.
Which is fascinating when you think about how the magicians who are, hunting them down live here.
Yeah. I do love the fact that there's, just an ancient Egyptian boat in the middle of this airport. I love that. Love that for them.
Yeah, kind of a flex.
I wonder if this boat can also fly. Come on, this boat should come back. And they should fly on this boat, because we're in the middle of the airport, and we've already been on a flying boat.
Yeah.
I want more magic boats. Okay, so we confirm that our scorpion goddess cannot follow us because of, artifact cooldown times.
Hilarious way to talk about that, but yes, that's literally what it is.
It's like spell slots, but
Yeah, well, that's literally, a video game thing is oh, I already used that spell, it needs to cool down.
We love that so much.
Yeah,
Rick is just I'm creating a magic system. I'm gonna do it.
I mean, presumably that's how some equipment works that I'm not familiar with because I'm not a fucking mechanic or whatever. That you need to give stuff a cooldown period. That makes a ton of sense. But the fact that, magic artifacts do that and have a predictable 12-hour cooldown period, hilarious.
It's good shit. Okay, so no one is bothering them because Zia is getting them the heck away from the airport security. You could stay here. You could fend for yourself, and then airport security is going to be on you in a second. Let's go to weird place in the airport.
They're going to I want to pronounce it Heliopolis. Heliopolis?
Yeah. Heliopolis.
Okay. Heliopolis. Okay. Which are the ruins of an ancient city, apparently, that are underneath Cairo, and mostly underneath the airport, which is why we're here. But of course, there's more to it than just ruins, because this is a Rick Riordan book.
I fucking love this world building that we get in this chapter especially. Once again, we've connected it to, like, our magical place is connected to a real place, and we can get
Yes.
to it, and it just feels very cool and weird.
I love it. It's the good shit. I bet if you've ever been to the Cairo airport, you're like, fuck yeah! Because that's how I felt when they went to the Garden of the Gods and shit in Percy Jackson, so.
So all Zia has to do is just to mutter a word on, like, a broom closet, and they go down some stairs forever.
7 million miles.
There's just a tiny ball of fire in Zia's hands, and then they're, like, crouching and crawling down some
Yeah, sounds like it
stairs.
sucks.
It really does. Why couldn't we have, like, teleported closer?
Probably you're
it-
not allowed to. Maybe they have wards or something.
Is it one of those, like, you can't, like, what's the word? I'm losing my Harry Potter knowledge, but you know, like, you can't, like, teleport into Hogwarts or
Oh,
whatever.
apparate.
Yeah, you can't
Yeah,
apparate into
certainly.
Hogwarts.
Must be.
It's gotta be some shit like that. Yeah, so we're at the bottom, and that's when this fucking janky ass wooden plank is over a chasm. It's like, okay, we have to go across that towards those giant jackal-headed warriors.
This is some video game shit. Literally a set piece in my platforming game.
This is terrifying. A single wooden
that too.
plank. My brain says, don't go over it, don't go over it. Like, you see a bridge, it's going to fall, it's going to break.
Yeah, I would not be doing that shit. They made my ass read Bridge to Terabithia, which is not what happened in that book, but you know.
It was not the bridge that broke.
I know.
Okay, and then Carter's having some emotions about how Zia's, like, looking towards Sadie, like, oh, this is the entrance to the House of Life. You have to, like, find the path yourself and, you know, prove yourself or whatever.
Each magician must unbar the path for herself, is what Zia says, and Carter's like, excuse me, not all men.
Correct. Not all men. Carter Kane would never. Yeah, so Carter's getting very annoyed because, like, all of the people so far have been looking to his sister, expectantly.
Yeah, Carter hasn't
like,
been allowed to, like, do basically anything. Like, I've been proud of him for being very brave. But he kind of has not done shit.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
and Sadie's like magic now.
Yeah, true. Sadie's just magic. But he's like, first Bass did this, now Zia, and I'm just like, yeah, they're looking to, like, their woman companion and being like, you are a strong, independent woman, and I love you.
I'm uncomfortable when we are not about me.
And Carter's just like, I am a cishet dude. In the corner.
So all that aside, because that's not actually what's going on very much in the book.
I know.
but it is funny. Nah. We bring it back to Carter's trauma.
Yeah.
About how he always wanted to be normal, but instead he has to live this very unnormal life and never complain and always be the perfect son, and like how stifling it was for his entire life, and I feel for him so strongly. I truly do.
This boy needs to rebel. He needs some good old teenage rebellion going on.
Well, he needs independence, like literally, and
Yes.
and confidence, and yeah. And also, you know, Sadie literally was like, oh, you had it so good just last chapter, and he's still not feeling great about that.
Yeah, he really isn't.
But he's also like, Sadie had it easy, and I'm like, no, we don't dismiss each other's struggles, Carter. But I mean, I understand his pain.
Yeah, and then he hears his dad's voice in his head. Fairness means everyone gets what they need, and the only way to get what you need is to make it happen yourself. So, Carter does the thing.
Carter goes out and does it. His dad apparently had, like, the good lessons. He just wasn't actually emulating them for Carter because
Apparently.
life was so hard. Anyways.
Mm-hmm. And so Carter's having an argument in his brain where he's like, this is a really bad idea. And then another part of him is like, no, we do not fear this. But his voice doesn't sound like his, so whatever. That's weird. So he's walking on this plank to the opposite side. The statues are glowing, and then daggers start shooting at him.
Yeah, just out of this
normal.
weird red light. Yeah, just daggers coming at him. And you know what? He's fucking got it. Who knew he could do that? But just like Percy Jackson, my boy knows how to use a sword.
Seriously. And he didn't even have to get in water or anything to have an advantage. He just has a sword, and now he can deflect daggers being shot at him. And he's like,
God, I
how
wish
the
that
heck
were
am I
me.
doing this? Right? Yeah. And then the daggers are all gone, and suddenly there's a Birdman, and
Yeah.
Carter's like raising his sword, like, is this an enemy? What's going on here? Oh wait,
And Zia's like, please, do not attack the ancient magician spirit, please, for the love of God.
He's like, oh, it's a weird pharaoh guy, but then he's got a bird body. But he kind of looks like what I look like when I was in my dreams that time. That's weird.
Yeah. I get
And he
it now.
speaks
It was his
Egyptian.
ba. Makes sense.
Yeah. So he speaks Egyptian to Carter. Zia and Sadie are suddenly behind Carter, and they bow to this ba, who winks at Carter and vanishes.
So did Sadie not have to do a
Incredibly-
trial? Is that just
Yeah, that's the weird part. I have questions about that.
So they were like, hey Carter, don't do that. Did only one member of the party have to do it? Was Zia gonna take care of it just to, like, let them come in?
Probably. She hadn't been done explaining everything. Honestly.
Carter was just like, I got it, I got this. And they're like, wait. Zia's like, wait, you could die.
Oh well. He did it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. He's fine.
They explain what the bot is, and Zia's looking at Carter kind of weird for a second, and then lets it go. And Sadie tells him, the ba thought you were someone else. He said, go forth, good king.
That's my boy.
Yeah. And then we get the really cool shit. I'm so into.
It'd be really funny if this series ended with them, like, reinstating pharaohs and taking over Egypt. Just like these, like, a British schoolgirl and her brother. Hostile takeover of Egypt. That, it's too much like real life, actually. Get Britain out of there.
Oh my god.
Okay, anyways, continue.
We are underground. It's really cool. It's like Egyptian ruins, but like not. It's not ruined, actually.
Yeah.
Everything's brightly painted. There's tons of people. There's fires burning.
Fires that don't make
nice.
smoke, which is really important because we're underground.
Yeah. It smells nice.
You can't
it smells
have
like
that
Zia.
carbon building up. Yeah, it smells like Zia.
It's mostly old people here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have the comment about the Sorcerer's Apprentice, because someone's using a bunch of mops and brooms to clean up the city.
Very funny.
There's a lot of jackal-headed statues. I'm
that
not gonna
appear
lie.
to be watching us. Yeah, fun.
That's
Love that.
kind of creepy. Kind of creepy. I have questions.
I do love jackals, though. They're jackal head things. Fun.
Oh, I love a jackal head, but my brain is like, okay, what god is that associated with? My brain can only come with Anubis, and I'm like, why is Anubis watching them? Anubis, god of the dead. Why are you watching them?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine.
Hmm.
There's tigerfish, which are apparently like piranhas but bigger. Love that.
I love that. Tigers are better than everything, so of course they're even better as fish. And then we see like the rows of children who are scrying. It is weird that it's like it's supposed to be some kind of class, but there's no one, no kind of authority figure. I'm very confused at what they're doing here. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, Zia says we use our youngest as operators of a sort. So, like, like someone who
Yeah.
operates a phone. Like, they are doing this because they're very young and they have open minds, and so they're really good at looking at stuff and like processing it all. They literally are doing a job right now. These 6 to 10-year-olds. Kind of fucked up, but don't worry about it, it's fine.
I'm just wondering, like, what exactly they're doing with the scrying and like where all that information is going to exactly. I don't know. It feels like they're some kind of middleman, but I'm not sure where it's going towards after exactly.
They're just keeping track of the phones. It's fine.
Hello, operator. And this is where we learn that, yes, Antarctica is the 360th gnome, but it's a punishment.
Tell that to my cousin going down there for science.
But there's nothing there but a couple of cold magicians and some magic penguins.
Good
I
joke.
want to know about the magic penguins.
Rick says
I need
don't
to
ask.
I have questions.
Okay, so the important thing is that they're doing this scrying. These few children are the only initiates in the entire world. Their
Yeah.
society is like dying out. That's why everybody's old. You know how it be with the declining birth rates and whatnot.
It's very interesting that it's declining birth rates and also, like, we're overpopulating the world. I don't know how that
Affluent
works.
societies worry about their declining birth rates because they're like, oh no, we won't be able to keep up our population, when literally they just need to let in immigrants. But so I'm politics. Also, don't worry about overpopulation. It's fine. It's when people worry too much about overpopulation, they're usually eco-fascists.
That's fair.
We
that's
don't
fair.
need to kill off the human race. They're not a disease.
But Poison Ivy says they are.
She's an eco-fascist. Don't trust
but
that
I
woman.
still love her.
I do love her. But I mean, you would think that someone who cares about the environment and consent would not be poisoning people to do weird shit all the time. She has some ideological problems.
Yeah, I can't understand exactly. Her and Harley are getting better, okay? Watch Harley Quinn.
No, I'm proud of them. I literally love them.
Okay. King Chronicles. There's something about Blood of the Pharaohs. We're like, we're thinking about that and what that possibly means. Is Carter a king? No? Okay. Unclear.
Carter says, I had no kingdom. I didn't even have my single suitcase anymore. His only earthly possessions. That shit hurt my brain. My boy. Sorry that I can only talk about Carter and how he's my sad little Blorbo, but he is.
He is your sad little Blorbo.
I have to write sad fanfiction about him.
You do.
Okay, continue.
Right his years up until this book series. And how sad it is. Okay,
my boy. Okay, continue.
So this conversation comes up because magicians have to begin training before the age of 10, realistically. This feels very Halloween Town to me, where, you know, they're supposed to finish training by the age of 13.
Well, it's like the Jedi, you know? If you bring them in too old, then, like, they can't be taught.
Honestly, once again, I'm just like, the Egyptian magicians are just the fucking Jedi. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, it's true. Or is it the other way around? No, Star Wars is a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, so presumably that was first.
Star Wars is also based on samurai, not Egypt, so that's the one big difference. Okay, so someone's waiting for them, and they're apparently underneath the Sphinx of Giza, which is not at all close to the Cairo airport. It's miles away. They did not walk that far. What's up with that?
And Zia's like, Carter, you dumb bitch. Magic.
The answer is magic. Obviously. And I love every time Rick does this, where it's just like, oh yeah, like, obviously the archaeologist almost found us, but like we had to like cover up this part of the tunnel so we couldn't get up there anymore because they almost discovered too much shit. And also, you know, they think they found about 30% of the ancient ruins. They've only found 1/10, and not even the interesting 10th. I fucking love this shit, Rick. Like, this is the world building urban fantasy shit that I love. Like, Hidden World. It's so good. And then Carter's all bummed out because, like, but what about King Tut? I was named after the guy who discovered it.
Howard Carter. I love that factoid. I love knowing this about him.
That's how I remember the person who discovered King Tut, is because I remember Carter Kane.
And he's like, what do you mean? The tomb isn't good.
It's boring. Apparently.
So Sadie has brought them to the Hall of Ages, which she opens. It has the symbol of the House of Life on it.
And Zia continues, like, we're gonna meet the Chief Lector. You have to behave yourselves, or you'll be turned into insects. Bruh? Okay. That's
Old
not at
people
all
be
terrifying.
like that. This is just like Percy Jackson and having to do with Mr. D constantly, except he will turn you into a dolphin.
Which is more fun? Do you want to be turned into a bug or an insect? Okay?
A bug or an insect?
A dolphin or an insect. Leave me alone.
I knew what you meant. I
Leave me
definitely
alone.
want to be turned into a dolphin. Dolphins live much longer than insects. They play around and have cool times, and they're incredibly intelligent. Insects are fucked up little guys and they die.
Like, as much as I want to be a little guy, I don't want to be a bug. I'm just,
No.
Yeah, I'm not into it. But I could be a dolphin. Sounds like fun.
Insects are fine. We love insects. They are so important for the environment. We need to defend them. We need to stop using pesticides. Sorry, I keep going on political rants. Care about your local insects. Bees are good. Pollinators, love them. I just don't want to be one.
You're saying all of this, and all of this sounds like something Poison Ivy would say, and yet you're anti-Poison Ivy.
I'm not anti-Poison Ivy. I'm saying she's my problematic fave.
Oh. Okay, well, we talked about the chapter. That was a good chapter. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plugs?
It does feel pretty exposition. We're back to setup because we're getting more into the lore of the cool world, and I'm sure that's where we're gonna get it next chapter too. And I'm happy for it. I'm very excited. Sorry, you were bringing us to plugs. I'm ready. I'm actually not. I didn't think about it at all.
You didn't think about your plug?
No, I have no idea.
Well, let me tell you the entire premise. That is Xena Warrior Princess now.
Okay, yes, please do.
Because I'm not done with all of my stuff. I can finally talk about Xena instead of talking about Hercules forever. Because that was just the setup. So, within the episodes of Hercules, we're introduced to Xena, who is a terrifying warlord lady who murders a bunch of people and, you know, tries to take over your village and whatnot. But you know what? She wouldn't kill a baby that one time, so they decided to redeem her and give her own show.
Good for her. As a girl boss does.
Yeah. Listen, her introduction was pretty okay. And then the 2 episodes after that, I was like, okay, she's getting along with my favorite character, which was Salmonius. Who's just like, you know, traveling capitalist bard guy. I'm like, she's being nice to him. No one is nice to him. This means she has potential to be a good person. And guess what? In the first episode of the show, she gains her bestie for life, her soulmate, her future girlfriend, you know, Gabrielle, who is also a bard. Very much a bard. But, you know, Gabrielle's like, I wanna be a warrior just like you. I'm gonna, like, follow you because you saved my village and a bunch of people. And Xena's like, okay, I guess you can tag along. Sure. You cannot touch my horse. But they're besties, okay? They take care of each other. It's fine. I love them. They're gay.
Good. Of course they are. The only thing I know
Of
about
course
Xena
they are.
is that she's gay.
I was gonna say, there's still a lot of episodes where it's like, oh, one of them gets their boyfriend of the episode kind of thing. I've been
That's fine.
told
They
that
can be
stops
bisexual
happening.
and in an open relationship.
Yeah, I've heard that stops happening after, like, season 2 or something.
Oh yeah?
So,
They get more serious, is what you're saying?
maybe that's what happens. I don't know, man. All that matters to
I'm
me is that
yeah.
they're together and they're great. And okay, let's see. I was gonna look to see what were some of the good episodes that I remember so far. I haven't even finished season 1 because I'm taking forever with everything. Oh, I mean, the Amazon episode was great, obviously.
Of course.
There was a fucking episode where Gabrielle awoke the Titans by accident. You know why? It's because she's just a really good bard. Some people were doing this, like, ritual or whatever and reading off a thing, and she's like, no, this is this type of, like poem, you have to read it in, like, this emphasis. And so she did it, she woke the Titans, they thought she was a goddess. It's so good, man. I just enjoy how much of a bard that this character is, but apparently she's gonna get more, like, action stuff. I mean, she's technically also an Amazon queen, according to that Amazon episode. She kind of became their queen. It's fine. But then she was like, no, I'm gonna go off with Xena still, because that's my girl.
Nice.
I've heard that this happens more than once. That she keeps becoming, like, the queen of different Amazon tribes. And then she's like, nah, I gotta go off with my girlfriend. Tell me there's something gayer than that.
That's so good. That's so good. I love that. That's that's another thing that you could make some really interesting fanfiction of people just, like, sending her letters of, like, will you please come back and rule us? And she's like, I'm so busy.
I'm so busy saving the world with my girlfriend.
She, like, ends up uniting every Amazon tribe for, like, the first time in millennia or some shit.
Right? That'd be so cool. I love that, like, this is the spin-off of, like, we're gonna make Hercules into this, like, super cool guy who does, like, all the stuff in ancient Greece, and then there's Xena. She's just, like, a person. I mean, she was a warlord, but she's, like, not divine in any sort of way, as far as we know. As far as I know.
Yeah.
Neither is Gabrielle. They're both just, like, regular people, and they keep saving people because Xena's on a path to redemption, and, like, she killed a bunch of people, she, warlorded over them, and she's like, I have to do better. I have to use my fucking awesome skills for good. And guess what?
We love to see it.
She's just like Sailor Moon. She's got the it's called a chakram because that's the type of weapon it is, but it's like a frisbee. It's just a fucking metal frisbee.
Good.
Like, I love how ridiculous it is. It's great. And it's very 90s. Yeah. This show is why I'm gay.
Good.
Confirmed. I'm waiting to, like, gain some kind of memories of things that, like, I have seen before, and I'm just like, okay, is it because I've seen this opening before that I, like, have feelings about it, or is it just because, like, somebody else showed me an episode, like, semi-recently? I want to know. I want to know. Is this going to awaken something that I knew from 20 years ago? Okay, give me a plug.
Yeah, okay. I know I've talked about musicals before, but I don't think I've ever talked about Heathers the musical. I might have, but I don't remember it, so it's fine. I like black comedy musicals. Heathers is one of the best ones of those that exists. It's so fucking good. Heathers the musical makes me feel forbidden emotions. If you don't know about Heathers, it's a film that is like if Mean Girls was in the 80s and also they did so many murders. I think that the film is like a parody of teen movies where it's like, what if the most fucked up thing possible happened? And it also has like a lot of really fun social satire. Yeah. So the film is good. The musical I enjoy even more because it really hits me right in the sweet spot. Like, emotionally. Like, JD's songs about, like, his weird, fucked up devotion and, like, his murder obsession are so good and haunting, and, like, the reprises, the emotionality of it, just listen to it. It fucking slaps. It's so good. And also it's funny as fuck. Yeah. Heathers. I recommend the 2014 cast recording. I know that they've, like, changed some songs since then, and I don't really like the new ones that much. I don't particularly care about the song that they removed, but I know that some people are offended about it, so yeah, 2014 is good.
Good shit. Love that. I know of Heathers, but I have not seen it. So I know it exists, and I know what it's like, vaguely.
I'll send you, like, a couple animatics. I'll, like, try and find some that are good, because I think you'll like the music, like, a lot.
Good shit.
Alright, you should release us from this mortal coil, and we should turn into bird chicken souls.
Oh, okay, we're gonna do that? I guess that's what's happening. Get the fuck out of my house. I'm gonna go turn into a bird chicken and haunt Carter and all of his kingliness, I guess.
I'm gonna make fun of him for being a little scrub and also part of an ancient line of pharaohs.
Amazing.
Okay.
Good shit. Bye.
We out. Bye.
Of the Eldest Gods would like to thank its $10 and up patrons. This means you're either in the Savior of Olympus tier or the God Complex tier on our Patreon, patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. Thank you all so much for your support, especially Matt, our God Complex patron.
You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send us a message through the Duat to oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about the Riordanverse or whatever else. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology, no promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. If you want to hear more from me, Raye, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast's Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. You can also hear my voice on 2 other podcasts. I co-host another podcast on the network with the meme maker Robert called The Bits, where we talk about the Cartoon Network show Steven Universe. I also co-host a non-network podcast with my buddy Ethan called Mysteries in the Machine, where we talk about all things Scooby-Doo. Our music was created and produced by Isabel Strauss-Riggs. You can find Isabel at Kane I, that's I is in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel, Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now we are discussing The Kane Chronicles. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
Have you ever gotten so distracted in Stardew Valley that you forgot to sleep? Have you realised that you have a whole room in your house full of dolls? Or have you even bored your friends to sleep talking about your passion? Well then, Content Capable is the podcast for you. Join me, Sam, as I chat to people passionate about what they do, asking questions about how they fell in love with their passion, what they do, and how it interacts with their day-to-day lives. Catch the podcast every Monday as I find out what makes someone tick, all while gleaning interesting and insightful life lessons along the way. There'll be laughs, a bit of crying, a whole lot of conversations, and we learn just a little bit more about the world around us.
Gerta, Gutta, Gata.
Your
Every
kitty
time.
needs fed.
It's fine. He's not doing... It's not liquid food necessarily, but he's not doing, like, the canned food right now. He's doing
The
other
crunchy
stuff.
shit.
He's not interested in his, like, in the food that I was giving him the past few days. So I'm like, what's wrong with you, bud?
Riddlebones does not like soft food, which is like the most bizarre thing I've ever heard about a cat.
Soft food.
She won't eat
That's
it.
the word. My brain was gonna say moist food.
I mean, it is.
It's like, you know, the watery type food,
Yeah.
It's not soup, but it's also, like, not crackers. Something in between.
Yeah. The
Okay.
vet's like, put this medication in some soft food. And we're like, she won't eat it. And they're like, yes, she will. And we're like, no, she won't. I know my cat. She has never liked any can of soft food we bought. I don't understand what her problem is.
Dave X Media.